Candidates ready for the fight. Voices loud, they take the stand. Who will lead the promised land? Promises flying, hearts ignite. Truth and lies will take the mic. The clock is ticking, make your choice. Who you hear, the people's voice. It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. Words are weapons wielded, strong debates get heated. Right or wrong, they paint the town with visions bold. Who will rise, who will fold? Shadows linger, truth will stand. The battle rages from within. One by one they state their case, but only one can win this race. Who will lead this, win this race? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. We'll see. Promises flying, hearts ignite. Truth and lies will take a mic. The clock is ticking, make your choice. Will you hear the people's voice? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025? We'll see. Words are weapons wielded, strong debates get heated. Right or wrong, they paint the town with visions bold. Who will rise, who will fold? Shadows linger, truth will stand. The battle rages from within. One by one they state their case, but only one can win this race. Who will lead this, win this race? It's in the ballot, it's in your hand. The future's calling, take a stand. One vote, one dream, one destiny. Who will wear the crown in 2025?
Everybody, and tonight we're coming from the Edgecumbe Memorial Hall here, and we'll be having the Eastern Bay of Plenty Regional Council candidates on why they should be getting your ticks. But with every election, there's always one thing stepping in their way, and that's your vote. Good round of applause for today. Go through there, and I'll just oh, what's happened to Jessica? Hope she hasn't sat there and gone on there. Just because I'm sitting there looking in there, going, okay, she's has dropped off. And there was one. That's
Which
all right.
one will you vote
Yes, no, we got Jessica back there. Oh, you're now behind the camera.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
I was going to come grab some.
oh, fair enough. Oh, yes, got to eat. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we got Jessica back here. Let's kick off with Sarah with your opening 1 minute opening statement of why you should be getting one of the ticks for the regional council.
Thanks, Sam. Kia ora koutou. I'm Sarah Vanderboom. I'm from rural Maratā, and I'm standing for a seat at the Eastern Bay seat on the Bay of Plenty Regional Council. I've lived and worked and raised a family in the Eastern Bay for the last 30 plus years. I'm here because I am passionate about making our environment a better place and balancing that with community and economy.
Okay. Let's bring in what's it called, Jessica. Your I was going to say your opening statement. We've now got the right window going. Ready when you are.
Kia ora everyone, I'm Jessica Sneha Gray. I live and work here in the Eastern Bay. I've got a Masterpieces Consulting based in Kawerau. My whānau are from here. My children were born here. I'm a social scientist and it revolves around finding shaped places and how people. And essentially, this is the work the Regional Council does. And I care about our environment, not just for the today, but also for the future. We are rural, we are poorer than our neighbors, so we need someone who can speak for locals nationally and with our colleagues in the Western Bay, Tauranga, and other constituencies. I'm standing to work alongside other colleagues like the others that are standing to put the plenty back into the Bay of Plenty.
Thank you for that. Absolutely love what you're saying there. I was just going to ask one thing. If you can try and refresh your connection, please, Jessica, just because it was a little bit freeze framing on our end.
Okay.
Yep. So just basically, yeah. Thanks for that. Okay, so we'll get to our first section here. We'll get with the box questions. The box questions are going to be the ones where all candidates pick one by one. Now, because we only got 2 candidates here, we're going to be using the format of the one where one candidate picks a box number, and then every candidate sits down there and chooses a box number. No, one candidate picks the box question, both candidates answer it. So this is what we do when we've got 2 questions. We'll kick off with Sarah. Between 1 and 28, what box number would you like? And you use English or Te Reo Māori?
Thanks, Sam. Can I go for box number 3?
Box number 3. Let's see what number 3's got to bring up. Okay, we got W for Whakatane. And get a chance to whether that will show up with. Sorry, just a moment while I'm making sure I've got the right questions in the stream here. Just because I loaded some in, but I've got to make sure I've got the right folder on there. Yes, I've got the CPM folder. That's fine. Sorry, this is something I should have done beforehand. Okay, what experience or skills do you bring to ensure sound financial governance and decision making?
Thanks, Sam. I've owned and managed multi-million-dollar businesses and projects. I've got a very good level of financial literacy, and most importantly, I'm very prudent. I'm often frustrated at council staff talking about my budget. It's community's money at all times, and I'll manage it exactly in that way.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's bring in Jessica. Still got W there?
Yes, yeah. Can I go?
Go ahead.
Hey everyone, as I mentioned before, I own a company called Mr. Masterpieces Consulting. Essentially, that's what we do, in going into organizations or with counseling with people's lives, making sure anything that doesn't work out well turns out into a masterpiece. And how do we do that? The gap from mess to masterpieces work by sound financial governance and sound governance across the board. So as a business owner, I know how it is to count every penny, but not to penny pick, but to know where each penny goes. So not just for today, but into this, what I will be bringing into this role as well, and ask the right questions so that we can get the right answers, which can make a difference for the future.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, Jessica, what box number would you like to pick for the next round?
Let's go for, having not read the questions, I'm just going to go for number 1.
Go for number 1, no problem. I can sit down there and see what number 1 I can sit there and bring up with. Okay, we've got I for India. Okay, how can the council contribute to civil defence and emergency management in our area?
Okay, that's a great question, actually, because seeing as someone that works for the major incident management team, that is a personal and professional passion of mine. The emergencies are not an if, but it's a when. And so councils must work not just in silos, but work alongside everyone else, including iwi, local councils, people like St. John, the police, and other emergency management services, so we can be prepared when there is peace, when there is nothing wrong happening. So when things do happen, we know what to do. So all our people, not just the people that have money or resources, but all our whānau can come out of that in a peaceful manner. And so in the future, our region as a whole can flourish because we prepared for the worst when everything was good.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, Sarah.
Thanks, Sam. Look, my answer is pretty concise. Regional and district councils already work really closely together on hazard identification and emergency preparedness, and I think this needs to continue.
Okay, that seems to be a bit short, sharp, sweet. Okay, Sarah, what box number for the next one?
6, please.
Go for 6. Okay, we got Q for Queen Elizabeth II. Okay, are you comfortable with the way the regional council manages its debt position?
There's no need for the regional council to take on more debt unless it's short term while awaiting investment returns. Something people may not be aware of is that we're very fortunate that Bay of Plenty Regional Council is one of the wealthiest regional councils in the country. And that's due to the shares in the Port of Tauranga and other investments that are managed by Quayside Holdings. These investments need to continue to deliver returns and subsidies to the wider region, and via ethical investments that don't add to the environmental challenges in the region.
Okay, Jessica. When
Can I go now?
go now, yep.
Okay, look, I think the fact that the Bay of Plenty Regional Council as a whole is doing quite well financially is a testament to those that came before us. Invent the wheel, but we need to look at the books diligently with a fresh pair of eyes to see where things can change. But as a whole, the Regional Council are doing well. But moving forward, I will look to make sure that we are only going from strength to strength to retain and improve on the resources that we've got currently.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, what's the next box number you'd like?
Number 7.
Number 7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've got AA for AA batteries. What is the biggest challenge facing the region, facing the Bay of Plenty Regional Council?
The biggest challenge facing the Regional Council currently is there are a few things. We need to continue on the growth that we're doing. There are resource management acts are changing. No one exactly knows what will happen into the future. So we need someone or a group of people that are able to understand complex information, distill it into simple facts, so we know that we are getting, as a people in the Eastern Bay of Plenty, are getting the best resources, the best voices representing us in the table, if not our voices being large geographically, but small in population can be left behind. So for the Eastern Bay of Plenty is knowing how to maneuver the challenges that are coming our way and balancing growth with sustainability and environmental protection.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, Sarah.
Thanks, Sam. I think that there are 3 really big challenges facing the region, and the first is building resilience to extreme weather events and natural hazards. The second really big challenge is balancing economic development with environmental care. Community and economies can't thrive unless we have a healthy environment, and that's land, air and water. The third really big challenge is about balancing economic pressure with rates affordability. And that's going to be a really, really big challenge that really needs to be addressed through local government reform. We need to make local government more affordable for all of New Zealand.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, what box number?
16, please.
16. Oh, yes, the good old driver's license age. It's all right. I'm pretty sure as many of the people in this room, with the exception of one, probably got their license at 15. Because we're from that generation. Okay, we got was it? No, get the right one on there. Oh, for Oscar. Do you support borrowing to fund infrastructure, or should we focus on a pay-as-you-go model?
I don't think it's a clear-cut answer, and it really depends on the infrastructure. If the infrastructure delivers core services and protects people and livelihoods long-term, then yes, intergenerational borrowing would be acceptable. But it should be just one component. What frustrates me is councils borrowing for nice-to-haves while neglecting core services and core infrastructure.
Okay, Jessica.
Look, the key, this is the key, and I think the previous candidate pointed to that. It just depends on what the circumstance. There are when we would need to future-proof, mean that we would need to borrow to fund major infrastructure, and in other instances, we will do pay as you go. So it's not an easy as answer to answer in 1 minute, and it would be irresponsible to answer it in a minute because every situation needs its unique solution. So the key to that question is balance. Find out what the infrastructure we want to fund and why we want to do it. Will it be beneficial just for us or for our pride today? Or is it something we are looking at far beyond when we are gone for the future generations to come? And that's how I will determine how the funding should be structured.
Okay. Now, Jessica, what box number would you like?
9.
Go for 9. Don't know what's flash about age 9. I know it's not much, but yeah, it's always a joy. Joy of what it is. No. I don't want a black screen. I want AB for the All Blacks. Is it fair to say that the Bay of Plenty Regional Council has deviated away from providing core services to the community?
What is fair to say is that it is easy for us to sit through stones. I haven't looking at the fine print because I haven't been privy to it to make that determination. Will there be areas in which that they have deviated away from providing core services? Yes, possibly. And when I see that, especially for the people of the Eastern Bay of Plenty, who I think get less than their counterparts elsewhere, I will put my hand up and say, we are here, we are equal partners in this. So let's make sure that the core services that's delivered in the Western Bay, Tauranga and Rotorua are also delivered to our whānau here in the Eastern Bay of Plenty. And so I'm looking forward to reading those books so I can add my voice for the people of the Eastern Bay of Plenty.
Okay, thank you for that. And Sarah?
It's a definite yes. The Regional Council has deviated away from delivering core services, but it's not necessarily a blame game where you'd turn around and say to the Regional Council, you shouldn't have been doing what you've been doing. It's been driven by government legislation, in particular local government reform, which asked local government to deliver to the 4 well-beings. With the potential repealing of the 4 well-beings through future reforms, we probably will see local government back to delivering only core services. But, this is part of a much bigger conversation than just tonight. This is part of local government and RMA reform as well.
Okay, thank you for that. What box number would you like?
Have we done 12?
No, we haven't.
12, please.
Okay, so we'll get on to that one. Okay, we got in for November. Many residents feel disconnected from council decision making. How will you improve transparency and community engagement?
Sorry, I missed which.
In for November.
Thank you. I think councillors themselves have a really, really huge role in communications and engagement, but the reality is you can only talk to so many people as an individual, and particularly if you're balancing the work of being an active regional councillor. So as councillors, we need to stay really connected to individuals and stakeholders and industry groups and our own interest groups, so that we can maintain really meaningful two-way dialogue with all of those people. And we've really got to stay abreast of the issues and challenges at hand throughout our whole tenure, not just during this election campaign period.
Okay, Jessica.
Look, that's a great question. And as the previous candidate pointed out, it is hard for one person and it's only able to talk to each and every individual, but communication is a two-way street. The way I would approach it is I'd hope we are able to have local hui, even if it's once a quarter, so people that are interested in the workings of the regional council can come and ask the councillors questions, and so they can engage with us and be active in the decision making as well. And the beauty of an online forum such as this is in the past there are better ways, and I look forward to finding those avenues wherever possible to connect with the people here in the Eastern Bay of Plenty to truly hear their voices.
Okay, and what box number, Jessica?
Oh, sorry, how many questions were there?
Oh,
20.
next.
I'll go
Yeah,
for the last question, whatever the
28
last
we've
question
got.
is.
We don't have 1, 3, 6,
28.
7, 9, 12, and 16 at the moment. So every other box number is available other than those that I've just read.
Okay, 28.
28.
Mhm.
That's okay, we got Z for Zulu. With growing concerns about affordability and rising rates, some local groups advocate for budget discipline and affordability, e.g. rates capping increases to 3% annually. How would you weigh?
That's not Z.
That's not Z?
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it is Z.
It is. Yeah.
Okay, so continue where we're going. How would you weigh community affordability against infrastructure needs in regional decision making?
Absolutely. Balance is the key to everything, really. Can I put my hand up today and say, yes, we want, because I haven't seen the books in detail. But whatever we do, we must look and see, well, how is it going to affect our community? And when I say our community, I don't just mean those that won. And here in the Eastern Bay, it's even because sometimes I feel our voices are not heard. But in saying that, the reality is that rates are in an efficiently working economy, rates are necessary for us to have the essential services. So my key will be to see where can we find we spend and where mustn't we spend. And I will, even if I have to go against the grind, I would be happy to put my hand up and speak for that.
Okay. Sarah.
So this question about weighing community affordability against infrastructure needs, I think infrastructure spend in the coming probably 10 to 20 years really needs to be focused on resilience. So it's infrastructure that protects lives, livelihoods, and the infrastructure itself. And this really needs to be prioritised.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, I've had one of my work customers in Wellington has started texting me. Jennifer, if you're watching live, welcome to do so. Okay, what box number?
22, please.
22. Well, thank you for choosing my birthday. It's all right. And more of a hint, Labor Day 1990. Okay, we've got V for violin. What is your strategy to improving public transport?
So again, it's not one of these clear-cut discussions about improvement of public transport. I think we have a very good public transport system in some areas. In some areas, it's underutilised. And other areas, public transport needs expansion. So underutilisation, along with expansion in developing areas, needs to be continuously reviewed. So as new communities grow, we've got to look at what transportation requirements those communities need, and where we have underutilisation of existing services, we need to look at what we do with those. So it's that continuous review and refine.
Okay, perfect for that. Jessica.
Look, it's great that my colleague here has talked about it, because what we need is a united voice representing the Eastern Bay of Plenty. There's an overrepresentation for the other areas, but because we are geographic, people don't often speak up. There is people often come and tell me we need more public. So is that a priority? What would that look like? That's a debate that lasts more than a minute, but I will be actively seeking to understand how we can better public transport here in the Eastern Bay of Plenty.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, what box number would you like, Jessica?
21.
21. Oh yes, the good old voting age back when was it my grandma voted in 1949 for the first time. And don't worry, she's still alive now at 97. Okay, we got Y for yellow because we have an American as a remote editor. What are your views on the government's agenda with regards to the RMA reforms? Are you confident that this council would be able to meet these?
Look, change is the only constant, so that change is coming. So am I confident that this council, with me as the councillor, and with my fellow councillors, will be able to meet this? Yes, absolutely. Because the way we meet it is to have our mana intact, our facts right, and represents the local facts as we and also tend to make those changes work. And where those changes don't work, we will speak as a united voice to say, these things don't work for us, and these are the reasons why they don't work for us. So what is professional voices that can speak on our behalf? Because the change, regardless of what agenda coming, and we must be ready to meet it. And I'm quite happy to put my hand up and say, I will speak up when it's not right for our community.
Okay, Sarah.
Thanks, Sam. So I think that we need to flip this conversation on its head. Regional communities, industries, stakeholders, and local government should be vocally and actively driving this conversation, rather than it being driven by the political agendas of central government. Because basically these agendas are changing every 3 years, whereas we live with the ramifications of whatever central government throws down to us. And I think the options that central government are throwing down are blinkering the conversation. Communities, local voices, local leadership should be driving these conversations.
Okay, so what box number would you like? Oh, got 2, 4, 5, 8, 10, 11, 13 to 15.
13, please.
13?
Lucky number 13.
Oh, yes, always a good number. Okay, not sure if we get much of it in this area, but we have S for sulphur.
We do get sulphur.
Emergency preparations for earthquakes, very famous at Edgecumbe, floods, and other natural disasters. S for Sarah.
I feel like we've had this question.
Not those words. No.
Not okay, right. So I did answer a similar question earlier, and I think that the answer is still the same, that regional and district councils still need to continue to work really, really closely together on emergency preparedness. This is already happening, and I can't fault the emergency preparedness work that the two councils are doing. So I think we need to continue doing what we're doing.
Okay, Jessica.
Look, we need to build on the success of those before us. Yes, we're doing great work, but we can prepare further by keeping focused on it and having regular preparedness for the community and making people aware that these realities are not an if, but a when. We can only continue to be great if we keep preparing for it on a regular basis, not just within councils, but also other emergency services like fire, St. John, hospitals, and civil. And I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, and now what box number would you like for the next question, Jessica?
You pick.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go for the age of 25 because that's when your car insurance goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got you for uniform. Okay. How will you balance economic growth with the need to reduce environmental impacts from agriculture, forestry, and other industries?
As I've said before a million times, balance is my key word. And the economic growth is here to stay. We need jobs, and and balancing it with the environment is always being active to say, if there's an opportunity, how much jobs does this bring us, and what is it going to be? And a great work has, and just recently there was news about Kawaro, where we're doing, we've got geothermal steam in Kawaro, and we've got other economically friendly energy productions coming to Kawaro and the wider Eastern Bay. And we need to be building on that, shouting the praises of the wonderful work we do today, and work with industry to find this balance.
Okay. Sarah.
Thanks, Sam. So my belief is that healthy land, air and water are the foundation of economic and community wellbeing, no matter what industries we look at. So balancing economic development with environmental care is a core part of regional council work. The bulk of the region is rural. This is our reality. And so primary production needs to be a core focus. And it's where I believe the biggest environmental gains will be made. There's a huge amount of potential work for people with appropriate rural skills. In our urban centres, it's about mitigating the impacts of residential and industrial development so that land, air and water remain healthy and able to support community and economy.
Okay, perfect for that. What's the next box number?
Give me a number.
Oh, the voting age of 18?
Okay, shall we go for 18?
18, yes, let's go for the voting age of 18. Okay, so let's see what's in what we've got for number 18. Okay, we've got B for Bravo. How would you stand up for your community interests if it differs from your own position?
I think this is the reality for any elected member, that we have to take the views of our community forward. So I would be elected to represent the wider Eastern Bay of Plenty. So I need to listen to the community's views and absorb these and take a balanced viewpoint to the council table. This is not just about me and what I believe.
Okay, Jessica.
Look, I think it'll be great to work with. My view aligns with that, because the thing, I'm a philosopher by heart, we've got our professional views, and only those that can separate that and say, we're not here for ourselves, we're here for the community that are votes in, and take that approach. Yes, of course, it must be balanced. There may be things we know that the wider community is not aware of, and we must make them aware of it. So, the agenda, I'm here for what will benefit the people of the Eastern Bay of Plenty. And so it's what the people want with balance, and the information that I have is how I would be representing within the council.
Okay, now what box number, Jessica?
You pick, Sam. You've been picking really well.
Okay, let's go for 20, because that used to be the age and the drinking age for some period of time, depending where you were, depending which point in history. We've got D for Delta. How will you strengthen partnerships with local iwi to ensure genuine co-governance and uphold te reti o Waitangi obligations?
Listening. I don't know what each iwi want, so, and you don't assume. You don't just go and say, this is what I want. Can you sign here? Mana and respect for the people you're liaising with. That's what I've been doing here, and it's been part of my Te Whare Tapawha. It's been a part of how Mess to Masterpieces Consulting operates, and that's what I will be taking to the table when I interact with local iwi or any community member. And partnership here, and we need to move forward into the future.
Okay, Sarah.
Yeah, definitely partnerships. This is a key word, and it's about collaboration. So partnerships start, as Jessica said, with respectful relationships where we find common ground and have the difficult conversations. And this builds us toward collaborative action. There has to be genuine sharing of power. If you don't have devolution of power from council to iwi, then that's not a genuine collaboration. So I think that has to be a really important part of that conversation is collaboration, yes, empower, yes, relationship building and respectful, difficult conversations.
Okay, and what box number?
4, please.
4, no problem. Okay, let's go and find out what's in box number 4. Okay, we've got A for Alpha, as we know by the phonetic alphabet. Do you support political party endorsements of local government candidates?
No, I don't. I think central government politics should remain out of local government.
Okay, Jessica.
Agree with independent community first representation. Look, I'd work with anyone on good ideas, but my vote is not for sale to satisfy political lines.
Okay, thank you for that. So what box number would you like to pick?
Sam, why don't you ask the audience? And they can
Audience.
pick.
We've got 2, 5, 10, 11, 14, 15, 17, 19, 23, 24, 26, and 27. What box number should you get? 27. Thank you for that. Okay, we've got M for Murupara. Okay, do you support reviewing council spending priorities before turning to further rate increases?
The question, their spending priorities before returning to further rate increase. What was the question? Sorry, I can't blocking my way. Apologies.
Okay.
Do you support reviewing? I do support. I mean, look, so the first thing I do when I go into organizations to review how well they're doing is I review their spending priorities. So we'll be reviewing council spending priority. So I can understand where we can decide whether we need further rate increases. Yes.
Okay. Sarah.
Thanks, Sam. It's an absolutely yes. We need to review council's spending priorities, and I think there are 2 parts to this conversation. One is about returning to delivery of core services that deliver tangible benefits to our regional community and improve the regional environment. And the second part of this conversation is about local government reform and making sure that we pull in our belts. You know, the rest of the country is having to pull their belts in. Councils, well, all of local government should be pulling their belts in as well.
Okay. And Sarah, what box number?
5, please.
5. Yep, no problem. Okay, we got K for what's a place that starts with K locally?
Kawarau.
Yes, Kawarau.
Kawarau, Sam.
Yeah, this is annoying thing about we travel around the country because the first one that comes to me as Kapiti has been Wellington local, and unfortunately that's not quite the best words to say up here. Okay, let's get to the question. Rates have significantly increased in the last 3 years. What would you do to ensure affordability for ratepayers while still funding essential services?
I think we need to stick to our knitting, and that is councils, I feel like a bit of a cracked record, but councils need to revert to core services that deliver direct benefits to local communities and not try to be all things to all people.
Okay. And Jessica?
Look, we need to first, the first thing we need is essential, and do that, and then look at what will benefit us, and then have a justification. A rate increase today will substantially benefit our tamariki in the future. And if there's enough justification for that, we can do it. But it needs to be a case-by-case basis.
Okay. And Jessica, what box number would you like?
15, please.
15? No problem. Good old age of our camera person, Jack. You know, in 3 years' time, he'll be voting. Okay, we've got H for hotel. How accessible is the current Bay of Plenty Regional Council, and what steps would you take to improve its accessibility if needed?
Look, I'm sure they're doing the impossible, given that they, it's impossible to speak to everybody. But I think we're living in a time when there's the internet, and there are other newer ways that we can increase accessibility, especially to younger people. Would like us to go into schools, go areas. A lot of people ask me, so you're standing for the regional council, we're not aware of it. So I think we need to improve knowledge of what the regional council does and how people influence the decisions made by the regional council.
Okay. Sarah?
Thanks, Sam. So many meetings are already open to the public and are also live streamed, and this needs to continue and grow. But one of the problems that we've got with this system is that people need to physically get to a meeting, or they need really, really good internet access to enable access to live streaming. And the reality is that in a lot of our rural areas, we don't have good enough internet access, and particularly in poorer rural communities, there is no internet access. And so we're basically eliminating a whole part of our community that can't access regional council decision-making processes. So I think there needs to be a review about how we make it accessible to people who don't have internet access and can't physically get there.
Okay. Sarah, what box number?
What have we got left?
I've got 2,
Just give me
8.
a couple of options. 8.
8. Okay, we're doing quite well. We've gone through 18 questions so far. Okay, we've got X for X-ray. As a councillor, how would you work collaboratively with your fellow councillors to deliver on your promises?
Good relationships and courageous conversations around the difficult issues are essential across all parts of council business. And that's inside and outside of council. I don't think it changes no matter what relationships you're working with. You've got to be in there doing the difficult conversations, trying to find common ground, trying to find the outlying issues, work to address those outlying issues where we don't agree. Sometimes we need to agree to disagree. It's the same as relationships in the rest of life.
Okay. Jessica?
I agree with what Sarah said. We need to learn to be able to work with others, even people we don't agree with, in a respectful manner, and but not be afraid to have those courageous discussions, and then say, we may agree on most things, but in certain things we might agree. But for me, the communications channels must always say, I'm not going to talk to you because you didn't agree with my decisions, but also having a reasoning for the decisions, the positions that you help in garnering respect and working in collaboration, both within and outside the council. Anyone to break the ice needs to be.
Okay, and Jessica, what box number?
I'd like the youngest member of the audience to choose, please.
Jack? Yes, it is, but we can give cousin 11 or cousin 14 a pick. 11. Okay, we got C for Charlie. How would you stand for the community at council table on issues where council is not in support of them?
I will explain for why I believe what I believe in, and my reasoning will come from people of my constituency. People of the Eastern Bay of Plenty are voting for us, so I will not be afraid to state this is what our people want, and these are the reasons why they want it. I will say that in a respectful and manner enhancing way. With it, that's their call, but I'm very, very good at convincing people most times.
Okay. Sarah?
So my role in representing the Eastern Bay community is that I need to have a really strong voice for local issues that are relevant to the regional council. And my role is to gather allies prior to meetings, prior to decision making from amongst other councillors. And so that's going to come back to that relationship building. And I've also got to gather support from stakeholders outside of council so that they can have their voice heard amongst other councillors as well. So it's not just my voice. So we need to work outside of council to gather support too, to take these issues to the council table.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, what box number?
Have we done 2?
No, we haven't.
Okay.
Let's do 2. I'm happy with the questions we're motoring through here. It's going quite well. Okay, we have P. Papa. How will you ensure the protection and restoration of waterways, wetlands and biodiversity in the Eastern Bay of Plenty?
Oh, this is an issue that's dear to my heart, so thank you. So fundamental job is we've got to work with rural landowners and land managers to support and incentivise local action that delivers hands-on tangible benefits. So council has to support these tangible benefits and not create more policies, rules and regulations that stop action.
Okay. Jessica?
The first thing I will do is stand and what hasn't worked, and work in the Eastern Bay of Plenty to find out what exactly are the low work, not just for today, but also for the future. And I will be bringing in, speaking to the area outside of council, can best represent how we can protect and restore the waterways, wetlands, and not just for today, but also into the future.
Okay, and next, what box number would you like?
Or is that giving away people's ages too?
What box number? You've got 10, 14, 17, 19, 23 or 24, 26? Go 10, no problem. Okay, we got J for Juliet. What is your position on the national policy statement for freshwater management and its implementation locally?
I am on that document per se, but my position in entering the council is to get familiar with everything important for the people, and the key word in my career is balance, and how will it benefit the people of the space. So this is beyond a one for me, and I am not an expert in that particular document, but what I am good at is reading complex information, speaking to the right people before making a decision, and then not being afraid to speak up for the people here in the Eastern Bay of Plenty.
Okay. And Sarah.
Thank you. So just to, raise awareness that central government has placed national and regional processes on hold while the NPS and RMA are being reviewed. So I have met very, very recently and spoken with many rural landowners, and they are very much in favour of driving best practice from landowner and land manager level and farm and catchment level up. So the examples are the Waikakapu project in the Western Bay and the Ohiwa Waitahi catchment group work in the Eastern Bay. And so I think that as part of this review of the NPS for freshwater and the RMA, regional councils and central government should avoid blanket rules. And this is the feedback coming from landowners and land managers. Avoid blanket rules that limit fit for purpose options that can be driven locally. Instead, we should be looking at how do we collaborate with, support and incentivise landowners and managers to deliver environmental protection and enhancement actions locally.
Okay, we've got 10 minutes to go, so let's kick off with hard-hitting questions when I find the lovely key to do it.
Hard-hitting questions, we don't give anything running. What does a question? Because every candidate has answered the hard-hitting questions.
Okay, let's get on to hard-hitting question number one. What are your views? Well, I think we've already had this question on this one. What's your views on the? Had we had the? What's your views on the new emergency management bill before government?
No, not on the
Okay,
bill,
let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Sarah.
Okay, so the guts of this review is that it signals that central government is committed to strengthening emergency management systems in the regions. And I'm totally in favour of this review as long as we see tangible benefits and not more cumbersome and expensive bureaucracy. So as long as as long as that's not the outcome, then I'm all for it.
Okay, Sarah.
Jessica?
Oh, sorry, Jessica. Sorry, having a mind blank. Got two names, but I'll be honest.
Look, as an investigator and someone involved in major incident management, I back any step that strengthens the way we handle emergencies. The new bill is not just rules on paper, but it's about how the country prepare and for and hardest times. I see in that bill the stronger partnership with Maori, better inclusion of vulnerable voices, and clearer responsibility. Big providers our communities depend on, and that direction. But for me, again, it's about balance, and human flourishing means fairness, inclusion, and resilience. And it should be much bigger than just a piece of paper and a nice to have. And we need to see how this can fit into the real life and how people can be safeguarded. So I will support it as long as there are benefits for our people.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, let's get on to hard-hitting question number two. What is your vision for the next 10 years for the Bay of Plenty Regional Council? Let's kick off with Jessica.
Putting the plenty back into the Eastern Bay of Plenty. We are deprived, and we can put the plenty back in the Bay of Plenty. 10 years is where a region where growth and guardianship walk side by side. Are big before us, and we will build on the strength of those Tupuna and our leaders and our former councillors that went before us. And where rivers and cared for with the love of our families, and so people and communities can thrive. And this is where I worked for the last 30 years, and I know we can do this for now in the Eastern Bay of Plenty. And that means balancing environmental growth with economic development, and works best for our people here. And that's like waterways, stronger government, better transport for our people.
Okay, Sarah.
Thank you. So I think we need more emphasis on collaborative alliances and incentives and community-led action. And I've mentioned this before, rather than more policies, rules and punishment. Secondly, I think we need increased investment in these partnership projects and incentives to deliver tangible environmental and economic benefits. Thirdly, I think we need local voices and leadership representation in local government reform. Real change starts from the community up and not from central government down. Fourthly, I think local government needs to trim its sails and become a lean and cost-effective animal that's focused on delivery of core services and those tangible benefits again.
Okay, and let's get on to hard-hitting question number 3. What is your position on retaining the Whakatane District Council in the area where we are, Rangataiki Māori Ward, but it could also be many of the 2 other Māori wards in Whakatane or the one in Karanau, and the regional council's Kohi Māori constituency, and why do you hold that position? Sarah?
It's an absolutely yes to Māori wards. All of government has a responsible for fair representation of Māori. Māori wards and local government ensure fairer representation, but I see that they are still a stepping stone on a journey to equitable representation.
Okay, and Jessica?
Look, I think real conversation about it, not just about Maori wards, but the idea of representation itself. You know, as in a world where everything is perfect, we would have no needs for wards. But the reality is we are not living in a perfect world. And what do the people want? I've been hearing the people in this whenua, and people are saying, we're not there yet. And listening to them, you know, while we might one day live in a world where there is no need for representation, because we're yet in, so for this world we would need representation by a form through awards that are necessary.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, so now let's get to the fun part of closing statements of why you should receive one of the tips for Eastern Bay of Plenty constituency for the Bay of Plenty Regional Council. Sarah?
Thanks, Sam. I've got the passion and the drive to do this role. This is my second time standing for regional council. I've got a really, really good handle on what the regional issues are. The reality is the bulk of the Eastern Bay is rural, and my background in rural research, primary industries, and running various businesses has left me in a really, really good position to understand what the issues are that we're facing. And I can't say it enough that we really, really need to focus on working with rural landowners and land managers to support them as they are on their environmental journeys. That's where we're going to see the biggest gains.
Okay, Jessica?
Look, this is my adopted home. My whānau, my husband's family are from born here. I have advised councils and others around the world on how to make places thrive, and I've done this in secret in shadows for the last 30 years, and I want to be able to give back to this whenua, this rohi that I live in, bringing my expertise out of so we can put the Bay of Plenty, and as a social science, I see the potential here. We've landowners, and we also, my expertise is working with industry. We need industry as well. And how do we find the balance between economic growth and environmental, which I offer? So let's put the plenty into the Bay of Plenty through voting for the right candidates. But no matter what you do, vote, which is the most important thing.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, let's give a big round of applause. I know, I love the saying, put the plenty back into the Bay of Plenty. Okay, so thank you for sitting there watching us tonight on It's in the Ballot. We'll be back tomorrow with a big fun day packed up in Te Puke. And we might see if we might have a kiwi fruit pina colada that could be on stage, considering we definitely know where Te Puke in Hawaii seems to start with. Have a good evening, and we'll see you all back tomorrow at 3 p.m. for the Makatu Community Board. And got Meryl debate at 7 o'clock.